Frank, you said how difficult it is to work with Hennessy fighters. I know that Tony Bennett comments he's made this week, it's quite many matches on it. Yeah. Does that make it harder for these Hennessy fighters?
No, it don't. I mean, you know, look, how difficult can it be to make fights when we win a purse bid? Then you're not negotiating. Won a purse bid, let's get the fight on. The winner, whoever puts the most money in. I lose a purse bid, my fighters show up. We don't do all this mess around and shut up the press conference. They act professionally, they know what's got to be done.
He's turned it down this morning, Danny McIntosh.
So again?
Danny McIntosh has turned down the...
So he's turned it down, you've got your answer.
Turned it down.
See what I mean? Miles off in boxing news and gives it all the government. I'm willing to fight anybody, I've said it. I'll fight whoever wants to put in front of me, I'll fight them.
And I've got to tell you that, who wouldn't want to fight on a big show? So what's he going to do? He's going to be fighting in some 1,200 seat venue now.
After my last performance, like I said, he's drunk on Dutch courage and his style is that bad. I'd close my curtains if he was fighting in my yard. So, you know, he's got nowhere to go. You know, at the end of the day, Nathan's got his career and I've got my career. He's on a different level at this moment in time than me. Simple as that. I want to fight the people he's boxed. So until I can start proving myself and beating some decent people, you know, I'm going to be stuck in this situation that I'm in. Last for over McKenzie, not second do. Dean has done as best as he possibly can. His job's hard enough as it is, and Frank's trying to do the best one we can. But you know, McIntosh has obviously come out in boxing news and said this afternoon he's going to obliterate me. You know, the guy's a clown.
Well, he doesn't want it, so on to the next one.
Frank, how do you rate Derek Chisora's chances?
How do I reckon he does?
How do you rate his chances?
Great chance. It's a tough fight. He's fighting the best heavyweight in the world. Who's been dominant in the division, you know, more than any other. He's the most dominant heavyweight since Lennox Lewis. It's a tough fight. But you know what? If desire, heart, and guts wins a fight, he can win it. You know, there's things called, you know, as far as bookmakers are concerned, there are things called upsets. If there was an upset, the word would be in a dictionary, and he can do it. He has the confidence, he's going to train as hard, he's got great sparring for this, he's going to go to Scotland. There's a press conference, as you're probably aware, there's a press conference on Monday in Germany, and then next Thursday, Klitschko will be here. And you can ask the two of them what their chance are. I think he's got a chance, and he's got nothing to lose. He has nothing to lose, he has everything to gain.
What's your thoughts on being maybe the second match with Mike Jones and how did you feel the last fight round to stop it?
I thought he were on back foot, he didn't want to fight. It didn't look particularly that good looking back at him. I think that I gave him a bit too much respect. I should have just ran in and destroyed him, to be honest with you. But moving on now, focusing on his anniversary is going to be a great night to fight him. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, beating Jennings, do you feel you've left the domestic welterweight scene behind him?
Yeah, I think beating him, everyone thought that he was one of the top guys, 1 or 2. So I've gone on to prove that I'm number 1 and I'm a marketable now and I'm on the world scene. So looking forward to winning that world title belt.
Frank, back to the British title fight.
Yeah.
Back to 8 fights and we've got 5 rounds.
We'll find out. Being there on the 11th, then you'll find out. Is he ready? I've got no idea. He's confident. Jimmy McDonald's, his trainer's confident. They're confident of it. You know, it's a fight that actually it wound up making itself at the end of the day, because all we were looking to make him a European or world title. He's got to hang around. How long have you been a pro now? 4 or 8 years? Yeah, he's looking to make big money. And this fight will turn somebody into being a. Well, it's not the end of the world, whoever loses, whether James loses or not. It's not the end of the world, but it gets the division going, it creates a bit of controversy. And it's, it's one of those, for me, it's what boxing's all about. Everybody's going to have an opinion about it. You just said, quite rightly, Rob, what happens after 5 rounds? We don't know. But you're going to find out if it goes 5 rounds, if it doesn't. And one thing for sure, I know both of them will be doing 100% in the ring.
James, do you see it as a risky fight at this stage?
Of course, but I'm confident in my ability. I'm confident that I can win. Otherwise, I wouldn't take it. I've been calling it for the past year, I can say I'm the best super middleweight in the country, and now Frank's delivered. So it's on. It's on. So now I've got to get in the ring, I've got to go in the lines then, and prove I am the best super middleweight in the country already.
The other side of it is, you know, Paul would be satisfied, he wasn't confident. So, you know, that's what you've got. You've got two guys, good pros, in there. Fans get a great nice boxing.
Thank you. You're involved in the local party there.
Yeah. Dean Harrison, I know him quite well. Started last year. And then, texted me a while back on my box rec, so I asked him to get Dean to get in touch with him, saying he wanted to fight me. So I rang him. I had a fight time, he obviously fancies his chances, but I don't know why, because I've done some inspiring. It's going to be no different on this end 11. If not, I'm going to do it in smaller clubs than her.
Frank, is this sort of show maybe future boxing?
Well, I mean, you know, when I go back to to be very honest, you know, I've sort of become, I suppose, an old fart now in the game. You know, been around a long time. When I go back and look at what we used to do in the sort of late 80s, 90s, we put these mega events together. We had the input of American TV, which was great because you needed the money to make these happen. So, you know, I think now that you've got to give the fans value for money. It's a competitive market. There are a lot of fights out there, and you've got to give the fans what they want. I mean, the last show, the 7 last show, I feel, as a punter, and certainly for me as sitting there watching it, I found the whole thing. I come away from that show, I was absolutely exhausted. I'm not there fighting. Be watching it, it's just like one after the other, you know, really all action. But the feedback we have, you've seen the lads in the trade paper in the boxing news, you've seen the stuff on the internet sites and some of the rest of the news, but it's been tremendous. And it can only get better. So that's what we have to do, is just to keep the momentum going. And I'd like to do at least 4 or 5 of these shows a year. And in the meantime, you know, keep the other shows, the other stuff we do, and building fighters. But I think what's happened, certainly in my 30 years in the game, is fighters are now fighting for titles much quicker than they ever did. You know, you look at people's records like, say, Alan Minter, Tony Simpsons and all those guys, they were having 20, 24 fights before they even fought for a title. Now, it's happening, you know, these guys are fighting in 12 rounds. So I don't know whether the fitness level is greater or, you know, how that's worked out, but the fact of the matter is they're all maturing and fighting and getting involved in big fights much sooner than their contemporaries.
It's a classic example. She's already been sexy now in the world.
Yeah, but I've got to say something, you know, Derek fight, when I was offered that, you know, I thought, what's his bit, you know, it is too soon, I'm not trying to see him have a few more fights, but Derek drove me around the bend and he sat down, I want this, I really do believe it, you don't believe in me, you don't think I can win this, and we had that conversation. But the fact of the matter is, I do believe, I think he can be a quality fighter, but win, lose or draw, he's going to get great experience from this, in my opinion. And I think that it can bring something out of it. If he wins it, it's a tough fight for him. If he does, God, he may be a national hero. Get rid of one of the Klitschko's. Well, you know, to be honest, you know, I like to see fighters. If they're involved in a fight, of course I like to see them undefeated records. But there are guys in there, you know, Max has undefeated. Look where he's got himself back to. You know, there are guys who've been beaten. I mean, Danny Williams got beat, you know, had a couple of losses, then suddenly goes and beats Mike Tyson, and next minute he's fighting for the world title. It's not the end of the world having an undefeated record. You know, Paul had a loss, which was a very vague one, but he's got one on his record. And it's a situation where when you look at it, it depends how you get beat. If it's a controversial defeat or if it's something where, you know, you can win a fight, like Tony won that fight, you know, a couple of weeks ago. You know, he made the fight hard for himself, but he won the fight. Yeah, and he lost it. It wouldn't have been the end of the world. You know, he'd been on having another fight. But TV companies want undefeated fighters. That's how in my opinion, in my experience, how I think. I mean, you're looking at Klitschko's record, he's had 58 fights, he's lost 3 of those 58 fights. But still the most dominant heavyweight in the last, 8 years.
How's Billy Joe Saunders getting on? He's fighting 6-3 on the undercard.
He's fighting on the undercard, he's had 2 operations in a year on his hand, and hopefully, this will see to the problem he's had. It's held up his career, he's a tremendous young talent, and he's got a bit of catching up to do, but he's a young lad, he's a young kid who's got plenty of times on his side, provide his hand holds up. And you look at the same, again, going down the undercards, look at the youngsters like Liam, Ronnie Heffer and Joe Selkirk, you look at the next tranche of talent that comes through. It's just, boxing is just unbelievable. I mean, and you look at the success of Britain in the Commonwealth Games. I mean, the whole, Northern Ireland, Wales, England. It just shows you how much talent there, and it's a bit frustrating sometimes that the sport is not. It's a hot time for boxing. I think in the last couple of years, boxing's been the talent has been unbelievable. It's been some of the best talent I've seen in my time here. So long may it continue, and hopefully we'll be here for my 60th anniversary. Any more questions? Well, who's been my favourite one? I've got to tell you, there's so many of them, I'm running by favourite, it's not time to duck a question. There are, I'm getting on a lot of them, there's a couple I've fallen out with, that happens in any sport or walk of life, that happens. Best boxer, I think, who's achieved the most is Joe Calzaghe, without doubt. You look at Naz for me I thought could have been the best out of all of them, but he just went off the boil at the end, and unfortunately listening to his family, and I think it wrecked the end of his career for him. I think he could have been one of the best. Ricky Hatton done well for himself. There's been lots of guys. Nigel Benn. Yeah, it's some exciting times. Frank Bruno winning a world title, that was for me was great. Three times he tried to win a world title, and then he beat the guy who knocked out Lennox Lewis, which might give Derek Chisora some heart. That's what happens in boxing. Lennox Lewis was going to absolutely destroy Oliver McCall, and he got knocked out. Are we done? Thanks very much for coming along. Yeah, cool. Thanks very much for coming along. And Liverpool next week and Brisbane next week, so it's quite a big week.